Hi everyone, welcome to Own Your Story. This is Jay
Hi
Shen.
everyone.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about entrepreneurships and mindsets. So first of all, Jay, before you become a business psychiatrist, you were working in a multinational company,
Yes.
and at one point you were colleagues in PwC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about the change. Why switch from the comfort of multinational to entrepreneurship and startup?
When I was 17, okay, that might be a bit too long. Okay, when I was in uni, that might be
Right.
around like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So at that time, I was playing World of Warcraft. Right. Like I myself, I feel that my geography and history was quite good, and that's
Right.
because I play video games. So like
Okay.
for some people of you who know like civilization, that actually is not. It's like about you playing a civilization and bringing it all to the current age and to the space age. And it's from there that I learned. Oh, I know where all the countries are. I know how the civilization are what and all that. And I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe it'll be cool if I can
Yeah.
create a video game to replace the education system.
Yeah.
And in order to do something like that, yeah, probably I need to learn programming language. But whatever it is, I need to know how to manage a business,
All right.
right? So from there, I thought, okay, if I'm going to set myself on this path,
Yeah.
I need to know how to run a business.
Right.
So actually going to PwC was very good because I'm an auditor, and as an auditor, for those who do not know, we actually have this clause that says that you must allow the auditor unrestricted access to anywhere in the company.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's so cool, all right? So I basically just kind of abuse that clause and interview everyone I want to interview. I
Right.
interview security guards, I interview CEOs, I interview directors and all that, and they cannot say
Yeah.
no to me because I'll just pull up the contract and say, read this. You cannot
Yeah.
deny me, right? So you can see that the whole point that I joined PwC was to actually to gain the experience on how to run a business.
Right. So in a way, it's a stepping stone.
It is a stepping stone, correct.
Wow.
So I was there for,
Right.
I planned to be there for 3 years, and there I learned a lot. Multinational companies headquartered in Europe, Japan, US, and also in Malaysia. So then after a while, started to learn a lot, and it came to one point in time where I feel that due to changes in life, like for example, I was invited by Magic to run a training course at Gap, and I thought like, oh, okay, would this be a time for me to consider going out of PwC?
Right.
Then, well, as they say, there's no right timing for everything. Right?
Yeah.
So I just thought, okay, if I could, why not? Because if I'm ever going to do my video game goal, I
Right.
have to start somewhere.
Right.
So when I took it as a sign and I just left.
All right. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like your stepping stones is actually it takes so long.
Oh,
Few
yeah.
years.
Correct.
All right. It takes really like patience to,
Yeah,
and the vision.
yeah, the vision that I have was, because I think that doing something like a video game like this
Yeah.
could take 30 years
So
or 40
right
years
now
of
it's
my
still
life.
in your pipeline, the video game.
It's always on my mind, and
Right.
every year it gets harder and harder to do it because you need more and more money, and
Yeah.
people who play video games are more and more demanding.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I can do that yet, but it's still on my mind.
All right. Awesome. So in your position as a business psychiatrist,
Yeah.
you stress a lot and you talk a lot about mindset.
Yes.
How do you define mindset? What is that?
Okay. Something about when I went
Yeah.
to Magic and started to do finance training, I thought that what they were looking for was knowledge and skills. But as I linger around with startup friends and all that, I started to notice that actually not, because knowledge and skills you can Google, right? But what are the things that Google cannot teach you? Google cannot teach you how to make decisions. Results is a result of the actions we take.
Yeah.
The actions we take is a result of the decisions we make.
Yeah.
And how we make decisions is based on our thought process.
Yeah.
And our thought process is molded by our mindset. So to give one example, let's say we do one example where a child grew up in an environment where everything is solved with violence. This child will never use other ways to solve anything, because like I grew up using violence to solve everything, so I will use violence to solve everything, right? So this is something that I want to point out for entrepreneurs also.
Yeah.
If you only know a certain mindset, hey, hi Nicholas. If you only know a certain mindset that no, the only way to solve this certain problem is only by hustling, for example, right? Then you will always just hustle and hustle. Maybe this particular problem that you have can only be solved by employing a certain framework.
Right.
So it's to get people to know about what's out there, and then by just knowing that, you already change your mindset. And this is what I want people to at least consider, right? That mindset will actually take you further with less pain, I would say.
Alright, so from your own experience, say in the past 5 years, is there any shift in mindset that has impacted your life?
Over time, I think my mindset has changed a lot. But if we want to point out something, right, I think the biggest one would be seeing beyond myself. Like one of something that influenced me a lot was particle physicists.
Wow.
Okay, so particle physicists
Okay.
like Michio Kaku. There's someone, he's also a
Right.
futurist, and he from there I learned about something called the Kardashev scale. If you look in terms of civilization, right? Particle physicists, they look at the universe, Big Bang, and all that. And one of the things they sure will consider is, what if we meet aliens, right? And if we do meet, how do we know what kind of aliens are they? So they have a lot of discussion like decades
Yeah.
ago, and they come up with this scale, and they grade civilizations by 3 levels. A T1 civilization is a civilization has total control over your planet. A T2 civilization has total control over the solar system,
Wow.
and T3 will have total control over the galaxy. So if you look at the movies we have now, Star Wars is a T3 civilization. Star Trek is a T2 civilization. T1 civilizations, we say maybe like Judge Dredd or something like that. But if we look at where we are now, we are of course not T1 at all, right?
Yeah.
But they calculated we are like T0.7.
Oh.
We're kind of almost there, but not there yet,
Right.
right? So when I started to look at this, right, oh wow, it would be so cool that if I can be part of the progress to help humans to reach T1 in my lifetime,
Right.
right? So that help that kind of mindset actually molded me a lot in terms of what I want to do. So I would not do something simple like that doesn't, like, it's just profit oriented, right? If whatever I do does not help the human civilization to reach a T1 status, I wouldn't consider doing that.
Alright.
Yeah, so I think that would be the biggest mindset change that I have. Yeah, that happened probably maybe past 5 years. Yeah, I think it's around
Alright, so
there.
it's like evolving. Like
It's kind of
become-
evolving, correct. So previously, like when we talk about 10 years ago, I said, oh, I want to change the education syllabus because I learned from video games,
Alright,
right?
So who knows when your video game is going to evolve into
Yeah,
something
exactly,
else.
right. So maybe the video game that I do later will be like, oh, help, maybe in terms, instead of teaching knowledge or
Right.
subjects, why not about a mindset of, like, help you think like a Star
Alright.
Trek person, or we just want to explore the universe, right?
Okay.
That's a possibility.
I see.
Yeah.
So from your work, right, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
What, from your observation, what is the barriers that is stopping people from achieving their potential? And in your work, how do you advise them, like any little steps that they can take?
Okay. I think we need to talk about what is potential first.
Yeah.
There are 2 schools of thought in the world, right? One is every human can reach the same potential. That is one.
Yeah.
The other one is everyone have different sorts of potential. So right now we do not know which is correct, but I'm leaning towards more of the one where you have certain like gifts lah, that or
Okay.
certain potential that only you can do it, for example, or you're better at.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing that we need to help people, either people or entrepreneurs in this case, is to know what are their strong point, what are their potential. So if a certain person is very good at closing sales, he probably cannot become a CEO, right? So it's better that he become like the head of sales and he finds someone else to become a CEO,
Yeah.
or someone who is very good at managing people. So, or probably this person can become a COO instead. So this is what I want, how people can to know about that first, and the barrier about that is simply because people do not know what they do not know.
Right.
How do I know I'm a good salesman? Right.
Okay.
I may like maths, but maybe because I talk to you, for example, then Isabel says that, hey, you know, Jay, I think you're a very good salesman. It's like, oh, okay. I do not know that. Then that helps me to consider about it. So I think that barrier of we do not know what we do not know is applicable to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to,
how do we cut through that?
one way would be at least be aware that it's more likely I do not know something than I know something. So that will open the door to find out what is it that I do not know. And with that kind of mindset in mind, when we go talk to other people, we can always look out for them, ask them like, at least from the conversation, find out something for that person to tell me something about me that I do not know.
So it's basically always be curious.
Always be curious. Always to, it's like a form of always looking for opportunities to develop yourself. Maybe what you want, maybe that development may not be what you want, but overall, right, we are not, how do I say, we are not robots that meant to be specialized in something. We need to know everything. Like for example, raising a kid, it's not the mother's job. The father also needs to know, right? So the father cannot say, oh, it's my wife's thing. Right? So he also needs to know. So just develop yourself. It may be useful one day, you might never know.
And then like from your previous work, I saw that like you say something that clarity is important.
Yes.
How do people find clarity?
I think first you need to have the mindset first.
Yeah.
Right? And something I like to do is for people to understand this story about, I think we all learned it in primary school already, the elephant and the four blind men. So a blind guy, as he walked there and he touched the elephant, and maybe he touched the trunk, he may say, oh, an elephant is like a long thing. And touch the leg, oh, an elephant is fat. And I'll touch the tail, oh, an elephant is a thin thing. So I think we are all like that also. Right? Like look at us, we are only like 20, 30 years old. And human civilization has been for like, depending on who you want to believe, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 millions. I'm pretty sure we don't know everything.
Yeah.
Right? So, and when we have that mindset, it also like falls back to what, like we do not know what we do not know. So to find that clarity, once you know that, oh, actually, I'm touching an elephant and an elephant is what I heard is more than just a fat thing. Other people are saying it's a thin thing. So what is it that that person know that I do not know? So when with this kind of mindset and you're trying to search for the truth, that is also the same as searching for clarity. Is it what I know is everything? Right? So if you ask that question, naturally you will obtain more clarity of where we currently are at. Like for example, one good example would be, let's say that in one recent case, I want to go to Bukit Bintang, and I usually take the LRT to go to KL Central. Then I'll take a monorail to go to Bukit Bintang. Then as I was talking to one of my colleagues and tell me that, why do you do it that way? Do you know that you can take the LRT to Pasar Seni, and Pasar Seni take the MRT to Bukit Bintang? I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so now I got. So in a way, that is like him solving my problem. But in an indirect way, I got more clarity of the public transportation system. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's like one piece of advice. And in terms of like along your career, is there any piece of advice that is like really changed you?
Along the way, I do receive a lot of advices along the way, and I think that it's hard for me to pinpoint a really good advice, because since I have a mindset of constantly developing myself. So every time I get different sorts of mindset, because it's very good for that point in time of the version I am. But if I want to point out something, I think the most important thing is reputation and integrity. I think reputation also falls down to integrity at the end of the day. Like, don't cheat, don't backstab people, be honest. I think all these will actually will always save you in a way. Like if we look at Uber, Travis, right? So he's very successful in a way. Built Uber, go to so many countries, the valuation, I don't know, billions and billions. But he got kicked out of Uber just simply because he is unable to treat someone inferior to
Yeah,
him. Then he
that's
scolded the
true.
driver, right?
Yeah.
So that means he lost his integrity there. Yeah, so I think we can have many advice to become successful, but if
Right.
you want to stay successful, you have to have integrity.
Alright.
Yeah.
For young and driven graduates, young graduates who are about to enter the workforce
Okay.
or who are about to start something on their
Okay.
own, what's your advice to them?
My perspective,
Yeah.
I would say the best kind of advice for that level is have the mindset to continuously invest in yourself. Invest may going to courses, learning a new subject, getting a new experience. Maybe like in my case, like I was an auditor before, but before I was an auditor, I worked as a customer sales assistant in a computer shop. I work as a cleaner, as a kitchen hand. I throw rubbish.
Right.
Like this is like I didn't work very long in those kind of jobs,
Yeah.
but working at those jobs actually give me a very different perspective of
Yeah.
life. Right. So at least I can say that I can truly say people that I had worked those dirty, dangerous jobs before.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Alright. So how do you define success?
That was a very interesting question. I met one 60-year-old guy recently, and he was talking about success.
Yeah.
And he was saying that success means different things to different people. He says that, when I was 60 years old, my success is I don't get heart attack.
Yeah.
Right. So for a young guy, my success it may be having a stable income. Another one having a career.
Yeah.
So I think we need to first understand what is success
Yeah.
to us. I think having that clarity, because a lot of people just say, success means getting rich, but it may not be that. Right? So how to get that success, I think the very first step is to truly understand within ourselves is what kind of success we want. And then we work from there.
Alright. So for you at this point of time,
Yeah.
how do you see success?
Because I have the mindset that I
Yeah.
want to bring human civilization to a T1 status. So my kind of success is I'm able to at least
T1.
convert. Maybe T1 might be too far because there's like 7 billion people, right?
Okay.
But maybe every one person that I can convince or persuade to think like that, I will call that a success already.
Right.
Yeah, so a little bit success every day builds up lah.
Yeah.
Sedikit lama-lama menjadi
Yeah,
bukit lah.
that's a very universal perspective of success.
Yes, correct.
Because it's like the universal good, that kind of.
Correct lah, but at least it's how would I say is relevant to the kind of things that I want to do. Right. So it's strangely enough, like along the way, the things I do, of course, I think it's better to say that everyone have several success. So I think everyone's short-term success is to not starve, right? so if I don't starve today, oh yeah, I'm successful,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think having
Gratitude.
correct, and having all these little things actually make a very big difference.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Alright, before we go to the last questions,
Okay.
how can people find you and connect with you? Facebook?
Facebook, I guess
Alright.
Facebook would be the best way. You can find me at Jayshen. But if we do not have any mutual friends, I usually reject them. So
Alright.
if we do not have any mutual friends, at least give me a message and just explain like,
Alright.
why do you want to add me as a friend?
Wow.
Right.
Screening process. Okay. So just now we talk about success, and then now more specifically,
Yeah.
what is the impact that you want to make in this world?
I think this will go back to the same thing about before. I think about reaching T1 status, right? It will lead to that. But T1 status, actually, if you look at it, is actually made of two parts. One is a technological part. I think Elon Musk will solve that for us, right? So what I'm concerned about is the mindset, right? Or some people say morality. If you look at human history by itself, we have always been creating something new, but our mindset has never changed, right? We still think that violence is an option to solve a problem. So we still have wars today. We still have wars 10,000 years ago. So I think this is something that I want to look into, to how to get people to, in terms of mindset, catch up with technology. Because right now, like we have found nuclear technology, and we know that nuclear technology it's a very efficient way to generate electricity.
Yeah.
But yet no one wants to do it because they think that, oh, if you know how to do nuclear thing, then you create nuclear weapon, then you go send and destroy me, right? And then it's a mindset thing. If I believe that you will do that, we will never get anywhere. So we will always be stuck at this stage where we will never use technology that will be past nuclear because of a mindset problem.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason, for coming
welcome.
to own your story and then share with us like your very interesting perspective in a lot of things.
Thank
Alright,
you.
thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.